Hey, what's up, guys? So, just like the video says, caption says, we're going to do drop shot from start to finish. I'm going to show you exactly the way that I set up my drop shot from the very beginning, actually putting brand new line on the reel. And so, just for sake of time, I'm going to do this pretty fast, cut out some of the time that it's not that you guys obviously know what to do, but I want to do this channel, or kind of structure this channel towards new fishermen and younger fishermen that maybe don't know exactly how to set up a drop shot, how to set up a actual reel at all. And so we're going to go very basic start to finish, and we're going to show you guys exactly how that goes. And so Miss Jim is going to help me a little bit. So very first thing, right, we're going to spool up our reel. Okay, this is a brand new Tatula Elite LT 2000 XH, brand new. So basically putting line on a spinner reel, that's going to be the first thing, right? So here's the very first thing that I do. All right, I'll go through, and I don't have scissors with me right now, but what I'll do is I'll literally just tie a knot, just a regular half hitch knot, just like that. You guys can see that, just a knot. Okay, and then I take and I make a loop. All right, and I'll tie another knot around the line, and I'll show you that before I cinch it down, exactly what that looks like. Okay, so you can see the first knot there, right? And then you can see the next knot around the other knot. Okay, so what that's going to do, I'm going to pull that knot down tight. Then I've made a loop for my spool. It's that simple. Okay, so you literally just take that loop, put that around the spool just like that, cinch it down tight. It doesn't have to be any fancy knot or anything like that. That right there is enough to get the job done. One knot, two knots, you're done. Okay, so step one, obviously you would spool that on. So what I do at this point, I'm going to spool on some backing line. I'm going to spool on maybe 75 yards or so of line that, some older line that you're going to keep on there all the time, right? And you'll have that on there all the time, and then you're going to attach your braid to this, and I'll go over that knot here in just a second. So spool about 50 to 75 yards of any type of line right here, because you are going to attach your braid to that. Step one. All right, so here's step two. We're going to attach our backing line to our braided line, right? And she's brought me some scissors, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off so I can show you guys exactly what I do there. This is a simple uni to uni knot, and I'm only going to do this. This is not critical. This knot is not critical for the strength of anything that you're going to be quit, baby. This is not going to be critical for the strength. So I'm going to do just a traditional uni to uni knot, right? So you line your two lines up just like this, run them parallel to each other. You'll run two knots on one side. There's one. There's two. All right, so it's kind of the same thing we just did. All right, you're gonna pull that down tight, just like that. On this other side, you're gonna do your braided side around your backing. One, two. There's no sense whatsoever in doing anything more than that. You've got two knots on each side. You pull that down. Again, this knot is not critical to any strength or anything like that. You can see it pulls down, and it makes it really nice, of course. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut off my tag end, and then spool on my braid, and that will be step number two. All right, guys, so here's step three. Just for sake of time, again, I already went ahead and spooled this up. I want my braid to be about 3/4 full. I still want there to be some line here, right, or some space here that you don't completely fill this up. If you overfill it, you'll have issues getting tangles and things like that. So that's about how full that I spool up my reel. And that's with 15-pound Phoenix braid. That's what I like to use. And of course, the next step is to tie on the leader to that. Everybody is going to braided on their main line and a leader, and I will get that. I think this is step three. We'll go for step four coming right up. All right, again, I think this is step number four. We're going to tie the braid to the leader line. Just for sake of time, again, I'm not going to go into huge detail. This is the Albright knot or the Alberto knot. A lot of guys tie the FG or some other uni to uni. I really like the Alberto knot because it's really easy to tie. Again, I've went through the loop. You guys can look that up. I may do a video on that. But like I said, just for sake of time, I use the Alberto knot. Typically, I'll do 7 one direction, and then I do 7 back the other direction. But for the sake of time, again, I'm only going to do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I like this knot just because it's a whole lot quicker. For me, the FG knot is very, very awesome, but it's just, for me, my hands don't work. So I'm going to, again, pull that down really, really small. And of course, I didn't dress this knot up or anything, so it's not going to be as perfect as it could have been. But of course, you guys can see that ends up being super, super small. Right there, the leader is, you can barely even tell. So that's going to be a perfect leader knot. So for the leader itself, you know, a lot of guys are using a 7-foot leader. I've actually started going to a lot longer leader. I use actually probably closer to like a 15-foot leader. And there's a couple of different reasons why I do that. One, I like to retie a lot. When it comes to a drop shot, you're already using small line, or really anything to do with a spinning rod. And so if it's got any kind of other, you know, other abrasions, I like to retie. And so that is that's why I use a really long leader, so I can retie multiple times. And also, you know, there's always, no matter what knot you tie, when you're reeling in a fish, you're always going to have that leader knot that can potentially get caught up in your guides when you're reeling in a fish. And so I do that, make a longer knot because, or a longer leader, because that is not as critical. So when you have a fish, say at 15 foot away from the boat, that knot coming through your guides, if it does get hung up, that's not nearly as critical as it is if you say have a fish right at the boat and your knot or your leader knot gets hung up. And so that is definitely, I think, a benefit of that. It really doesn't make a difference to me at all having a really long leader like that, as far as any disadvantages to that. You know, and honestly, it may be, I feel like, more advantages than not. And so now we've gotten, I think we're on step number 5. We will actually tie on the drop shot. Jim is showing you the arc tungsten drop shot that we like to use. That is a 1/2 ounce. I use that pretty often. You know, just to anywhere from 1/4 to 3/8 to 1/2 ounce, anywhere in that range is pretty good. Up there on the St. Lawrence River, I was using a 1/2 ounce most of the time, because that is the water was pretty swift, and again, that's a 1/2 ounce arc tungsten. And so I'll just go right into that, showing you guys how that I tie that on. I use usually a number 2 when I'm using like a nose hook bait, like a Yamamoto shad-shaped worm. I'll usually use, Jim knows all about the shad-shaped worm, don't you?
I caught my first fish on it.
Yeah, your first smallmouth up there.
Yep.
Yep, sure did. So I will show you guys.
Yamamoto shad-shaped worm.
Yep, Yamamoto shad-shaped worm. All right, so this is pretty critical. That is a owner light wire mosquito hook. And so here's what I do. I always go the exact same direction. Okay, you can see that there. I go in from this direction where the hook point is. I always go in here, just like that. And then I'm going to come back out the same direction, or the opposite direction, I guess you would say. And I tie a Palomar, quit. Little girl's picking her nose on the video.
No, I'm not. I'm just itching.
No, she's not. She's just itching it.
It's true.
It's true. I don't know about that.
Really?
Okay, so I'm going to tie a Palomar knot. And again, for the sake of time, I'm just going to do this real quick. You guys probably already know what Palomar is. I always wet my knot. Of course, dress it down there at the end. It's a lot what it's going to look like right there when it comes down tight. Okay, usually, like I said, I will wet that. Usually I'm going to use about a 16-inch leader. Okay, I obviously didn't tie that for again, just basically for you guys to see this sake. But here's a pretty critical part about a drop shot, right? A lot of you guys know this, but some of the younger guys may not. You want to go take your tag in line and go right back into where you just came through the first time, just like in that same direction. The reason why you do that is so your knot your hook will actually stand up, okay? It's actually going to stand up and it's going to stand out when you attach your weight to the bottom of it. So like I said, normally I'll use about a 16-inch leader, and here's how I actually attach the drop shot weight. Yes, you can, because of the way these are designed, you can actually just put this line in there and, you know, just suck it into that little V and it will hold. But one little extra thing that I do, I go ahead and I tie a knot again in the very, very tip of it, the very, very end, just in case that thing was to slip or something like that. So I tie one small knot. I go ahead and put it right through that hole, just like that on the drop shot, and slide it up there. And that's pretty much it. You know, that's a drop shot, and that's the 1/2 inch. Again, that's arc tungsten 1/2 ounce, and that is a number 2 owner light wire mosquito hook, a little bitty tiny hook. Miss Gemma got to catch several fish on those.
Yeah.
On that while we were up there, we got to fish some other lakes. I really love that hook, especially for that shad shaped worm, a little 3-inch or even the 4-inch shad shaped worm. That hook is awesome. Yeah, she got to catch one.
I caught my fish on.
All by yourself too, huh?
Yeah, no daddy's help.
No daddy's help.
Except he told me where the fish was.
I might have told her where the fish was with the old Garmin Live Scope, but other than that, guys, that's start to finish a drop shot rig. There may be some other guys that do it differently. That's how I do it. I hope you guys like the video. If you have any other suggestions, or if you want me to personally send you any videos or anything of these knots specifically, or any way that I actually did this, if it wasn't clear on the video, we had a little bit of a distraction during the videos, but other than that, I hope you guys got the gist. And I really wanted to make that the rod that I use is a 7'2" Phoenix M1. It is by far the best drop shot rod that I've ever used. I used it also, and just kind of throw this in there right here at the end, I use this rod also for my Ned rig, but that's a 7'2" medium action Phoenix M1. It's perfect. Been using that for a lot of years now. Super awesome setup, great for a drop shot, great for a lot of different things. I've probably got 5 or 6 of them now, because I'm kind of moving into being a little bit more of a spinning rod guy. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
Daddy,
What?
I got something to say.
What you want to say?
I got adopted today.
Sure did. Show me your shirt.
I'm reminding you. Spend time with
Yep,
Jesus.
it's our adoption day.
Yeah, and
What's
we
your-
took some pictures
Spend time
about
with Jesus.
me being adopted. I hope you press like.
She wants you to go like our pictures that we posted on Facebook,
Yeah.
like on our adoption day. So this is officially Miss Gemma Faye Barnes.
Woohoo! I was Jimmy Faye Goble though. Bye.